That's fine.
We're live, everybody. We're here. We're
Hey
talking about
everybody,
stuff.
Yeah,
talking about
the
so
thing.
much,
We have lots to
so
talk
much
about
awesome
tonight.
stuff.
Hey, Real Broken Thinkers. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, nice to have you here.
Or at least I
I
think
guess
that's you. Like the chat, I
Yeah.
don't think it's big enough for me to see your full name, but I
Yeah.
assume it's you.
Yeah. Hopefully you're doing okay, and
I
your internet's
recently
holding up.
watched your one video about weathering metallics and stuff on the Titan. It was neat. I liked watching it. Like I have some of those like little Tamiya weathering master things, although I've never actually taken to using them. And your video finally convinced me that I need to try and actually
Oh,
use
so
them.
you actually have some of them, Adam?
I have one. And maybe I'll get some of the metallic ones.
I feel I ordered some at the start of the pandemic, and they've just never been delivered.
Oh, I think I had ordered some little files, and I'd never gotten them.
Yeah.
Oh, you're building IKEA furniture? Hell yeah.
That's the ticket.
But yeah, I'll probably actually try and use them now. Your video inspired me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll have to watch that video, but I'd watched some people use them and such, and they seem like they'd be pretty good. I feel weathering products in general are pretty interesting and fun to
I feel
work
particularly
with.
you used some of like the metal metallics, like a titanium and other stuff like that, which I thought really gave like a nice like brushed like worn look. Like it looked pretty natural. And like it was neat that you didn't use any like the non-oil washes and stuff like that, because most of the time it doesn't, I don't think it necessarily looks that real or great, but I mean it can if you work with it enough. Hey Johnny, nice to have you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I heard this was mentioned in the Trapped Under Plastic podcast. Somehow it came up about, how the GW stores, online stores and such have opened again.
Yeah.
And maybe it was even on the Warhammer community or something, was mentioned about the top best selling paints.
Okay.
Once the thing opened up again. Can anyone guess what those paints
Typhus
are?
corrosion.
Do they even sell that anymore? I kind of wonder if that's
maybe
not
they
a
stopped.
I don't think they sell that anymore.
Oh, because if that was still around. Oh, so non-oil.
Yeah, that was the first.
I mean, maybe Agrax Earthshade or something.
A black or something.
I think
Like
they're black.
Black
I think they're black. No, so it wasn't Black Templar. That's their contrast. I think the black, Abaddon Black, I believe it's called, was number 4.
What else could people actually use or want? Like, I mean, I use non-oil every so often, but kind of rarely.
I honestly don't even remember all of them, but there's only one other one I remember that they used. You'd have to use a lot of these sorts of paints on the model you're painting now, Adam.
Is it a metallic of some
Yeah,
sort?
it's a metallic. It's one of their
Lead
metallic
Belcher.
Yeah, it's Lead Belcher.
Okay. I don't even know if I have Lead Belcher. No, I think I did, but it all dried up.
Yeah, I don't have any of them, any of those. But yeah, so it's interesting to hear. But people do love their non-oil, which I mean, I use it a little bit.
Also, on this like dude's axes here, I heavily like diluted non-oil and like used it not really as a wash, but more to like almost like stipple on different areas of the axe. But then you have to then go back and sort of repaint over all of it anyway, so I don't know how much it really helped.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so I guess that sort of leads into what I've been working on. I've been most of the time with the hobby, I've been spent painting this Slambo Chaos Warrior model. He's soon done. I'm in the process of trying to paint the horns, and they still have a lot of work to be done on them, and painting in like the textured areas of the horns is kind of a pain. But that's what I'm working on now. Eventually, the browns, the dark browns and the lighter browns will merge into more of a white. But I'm pretty happy with how he's turning out. So yeah, he'll be done probably in a day or two, once I actually have a reasonable amount of time to actually sit down and paint.
Yeah, well, he looks good. Some nice contrast there between different areas of the armor and such, which looks good.
Yeah, I'm happy with him. And then the bases, I used a bunch of different like enamels. And they work pretty well, particularly like you pull one out. Like Mechanicus has a bunch of like enamel paints. He has some for like slimy grime and like algae type stuff, which that if you add a little of that, it can make some pretty nice looking like algae and stuff like that. You can do a similar thing with the oil brushers and stuff as well. But
yeah, I have like a darker green and a lighter green from ammo. I think the same ones that I feel I will add a little of that to most of the bases and stuff I do, and then kind of blend it such that it just like slightly tints some of it. And I think it looks nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. After Slambo here is finished, I have an old Eldar model that I've done a little work, or an old, I guess it's not even an Eldar model, it's a dark Eldar model, that I might actually paint. See if I can, no signal, Maybe this new cord doesn't work. Damn.
It's one of the like dark Eldar ones, right? Like one of the kind of dark old ones.
Yeah, so one of like they had a bunch of like what I believe were like concept models for the Dark Eldar. Did I have one of them that I think I might try and paint?
Yeah, so like they're like some old metal models that I guess they were probably all still designed by, was it Gary Morley who had designed the plastics, the original plastic Dark Eldar models, which weren't that good, but
yeah, I think he was the one who designed them. I'm gonna go down and my computer and see if I can get the capture card to actually work.
Okay.
Hey Eli, nice to have you here too.
You could change the picture to one of the Zaku, and I could talk a little bit about that while you're messing with.
Yeah, I can do that.
But yeah, so like I guess I've been in the process of delaying painting the last Sister of Battle with a flamethrower, just because I don't know, I don't want to do it. But I've done a little painting on her. But while I was kind of doing some of that, I ended up getting this one real grade Zaku 2, which the real grade is just one of the kit types that Bandai makes for the various Gundam models, and it's the same scale, 1 to 1/44th scale, so kind of their smaller scale of models, with which they have these high grade models of that size. But this was designed to have kind of some of the details and the part counts of some of their larger scale, like their master grade ones, which are 1 to 100, but just at this smaller scale. And so I got this Zaku kit. It was like, it was a good distraction. So I ended up building it just to kind of see how they compared to some of the cheaper kits, and was able to finish assembling it. And the last model I had assembled, I tried this blue goof. I wanted to do some weathering on it using some enamel, like ammo products and such. And I foolishly thought I could do that directly onto the plastic. But as it turns out, I believe enamel thinners, like odorless thinners and things like that, they react poorly with certain Bandai plastics. And so I had done some panel lining, and it ended up causing the wrists and stuff of the model to crack. So I decided to not do some of the weathering I had planned to do. But for this model, the Zaku, I decided to do something different, in which I actually discovered this idea on a live stream done by Mig Jimenez, so like the founder or creator of the ammo weathering products brand. And he mentioned that, you can just paint acrylics directly onto like the bare plastic of Bandai's models, and then just using pure or like a high percent grade ethanol, you can wet your brush with that and blend that acrylic even after it's dried, or at least partially dried, into the model. So you can do it very much like you would do if you add some oil or enamels and then use odorless thinner to kind of streak it and blend it and spread it around. You can basically do the exact same technique with acrylic. And so I did that briefly on this model here, which kind of allowed me to essentially panel line it, as well as do some kind of streaking and whatnot. And it was all pretty much done with just a dark brown acrylic paint.
That's
And
cool.
so I did that for the whole model, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out, particularly when I wasn't too particular with the process. I didn't have any really definitive plans or exactly how I wanted to weather it. I just sort of randomly add acrylic paint to various places and then sort of thin it and push it around and whatnot. And I think it gives more of a weathered, used look. I then also, I guess, just put a matte varnish on it. And I did a little bit of oil work afterwards on it, but not a whole lot.
Yeah,
So
it looks. I think it looks remarkably good. Like, particularly certainly for like kits and stuff like this, where like they have a lot of different colored plastics and stuff to like get away from at least some painting, but being able to like go in and add like soot and grime and stuff, like that helps a lot.
yeah, I feel it looks better that way. And like, because the kits in general, I guess, are interesting in that Bandai spent a lot of effort to have different color plastics and such that it already has some coloring in it and doesn't maybe necessarily need the paint. Like this one, there are 4, maybe even 5 different color green sprues, such that the legs would have different shades of blue armor paneling and stuff to kind of add some definition to it, which
Yeah,
I
that's
thought was
cool.
pretty neat. And then a bunch of different grays and things of that nature. But so, I mean, I imagine I could have just matte coated the whole thing initially and then just done some like kind of traditional oil weathering and whatnot. And so I guess ultimately, if you're building some sort of Bandai kit that is designed such that it's sort of snap fit and wouldn't have to be painted, I think it'd be pretty easy to just do some simple weathering and make it look a little bit better without having to spend a huge amount of time on it. I mean, with that said, I think I still would like to try my hand at painting like an entire model, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a different. I guess most people who paint Gundam models, since they're all snap fit models, they just clean up all the pieces, don't assemble it, prime them, and paint each piece individually, and then like push it and snap it together. Which is obviously very different from most GW models because most are not snap fit. And
Yeah.
even the ones that are, a lot of them, the snap fit is so tight that I feel it wouldn't work as well with a lot of at least the Gundam models I've assembled. They aren't quite that tight. Like, and maybe it has a little bit to do with sort of the plastic types and such. But so I don't know. I'll probably try to paint one at some point.
Johnny
That
suggests that Mig has a book called In Combat that like has a lot of different ideas about how to do weathering and other stuff like that on different model kits and stuff. Eli seems to confirm that the book is excellent.
Okay, I'll have to. I mean, I know in general, Mig has a lot of different books and such, and it's neat how he does so much with not just traditional scale models, but does do a lot of work on like Gundams, Mecha, and other things of that nature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's neat. Like, seems like that worked remarkably well.
Yeah, now for like very little effort, or it it's nice. And I mean, I guess that's in general like why oils and enamels are pretty nice that you can put them on, and with a thinner you can largely remove it all, such that if you're not really happy with what you've done, you can really minimize it or keep it distinct. You have a lot of control and essentially working time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like acrylics or like acrylic washes, they dry pretty quickly, and if you try to keep brushing at it when it's partially dry, it will tear, and like it's not
Yeah.
good. Which is, I guess, a nice thing on these. If it's directly on the bare plastic, ethanol essentially breaks it down nicely such that you can do some of this blending. You wouldn't want to do it on like do this process on top of an already painted model with acrylic, I guess,
Yeah.
unless it was like a varnish was put on it, because I imagine even it would damage the underlying paint even if it was completely dried. I imagine it could cause some damage, so probably not what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg, didn't you start to build some model stuff?
I started building a model of Mewtwo. It's a gun, like Bandai made it, like the gun plaquettes. And it was cheap, and it is cheap. Like, it's not, since it's an organic thing and not like a Gundam, like there's not a good place for the pieces to come together and not look shitty.
Yeah, Gundams are nice with all the hard lines and whatnot. They can often engineer it such that you'll snap them together with enough pieces that they'll hide seams, or
Mhm.
seam lines can just become panel lines. But
Here's what I have of me too. Like, I still need to do some more work, sanding and trying to smooth stuff out. I don't know how much it's worth doing it. But
Yeah.
I have kind of been using it as an excuse to kind of ease myself into how to work with these kits and stuff before I start trying to do something with Gundam kits, because I have a lot of Gundam kits sitting here now.
mhm.
Um, and I don't want to ruin them. When
Well, I feel it's good to kind of get a sense on things, but I think honestly, I feel a lot of the Gundam kits are pretty nice in the fact that so much effort was put at hiding mold lines, being able to assemble it and kind of do all these poses without needing to paint and all these things, make them pretty nice models to like get into scale modeling or something like that, because you can, without a huge amount of skill or effort, you can get something that you would would be happy to display, and they're pretty cheap. So as Johnny suggests, that you can ruin them and do stuff with them and change stuff.
Make Mewtwo into a demon prince or something, Greg.
maybe. If I can get a plastic skull, I can put a skull on it to replace his head. Like, oh, look, there goes the head.
Well, if you put a skull on it, then it would have to be Warhammer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No one could deny it.
Yeah. So actually, let's see if it does. Okay, the capture card. I got the capture card to work again. So I was mentioning that I
Do you
have.
know what the issue was? Was just something not plugged in right, or
something you think?
What did you say there, Greg?
Was there a loose connection, you think?
No, like I have the tower like underneath the table, so it's hard to see. And when I plugged in the cable, I put it into the out port rather than the in port, so it was just plugged in wrong.
Okay.
have you gotten? Do you still you're still using the short cable that?
No, this is a longer cable.
Oh, so that's good.
But yeah, so I have this really old, or this old Dark Eldar model. And I think I'm going to paint him, and I'm going to paint him in a scheme similar to the Bone Reaper Eldar model I'm working on. And then I will use this as kind of a test model to experiment with some different color schemes and stuff like that.
He must be tiny.
Oh yeah, he's really small.
The skull you have on his base is huge.
Yeah, it's huge. I'm probably gonna. He's gonna have a different base, I think. It looks stupid. Let me.
Yeah, that's funny. Like,
well, here he is next to a plastic or like a Forge World Space Marine. So there he looks. He doesn't look as bad.
I feel there if like the Forge or if other GW models were scaled towards those older Space Marines, then it would look fine, because he still looks kind of bulky, and the Eldar looks frail and thin, but sort of sinister and whatnot.
Actually, I see reading in the chat. Thanks for the encouragement, Johnny. I need that encouragement to keep trying to do stuff.
Well, here he is next to a Primaris, and in some regards, like maybe that's not the worst, but
it's like, still not really that
Primaris is supposed to be big, right? But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to experiment with some stuff. Maybe get some weird, like, metallic greens and other stuff like that, sort of like we had talked about in the chat.
Well, so, I mean, this is all about painting old models or whatever. That Space Marine, that Primaris you there, that should be painted sometime, such that the reference model you have is painted.
No, that's true, actually.
Dad, what Marine chapter do you want that model to be painted in?
Actually, I need to find... So he has a little folding stalk on his bolter. I need to find that stalk. I think I have it in a bag somewhere.
Yeah, but anyone give us suggestions of how it could be painted? We'd probably be up for most suggestions except for Space Wolves.
Yeah, certainly not Space Wolves. No, never.
Although honestly, Space Wolves are fine.
But not
just not GW Space Wolves.
Eli says Luna Wolves. They're better than Space Wolves. Oh, the Luna Wolves. So that would be the true heresy. The Luna Wolves had Primaris in 30k, and
they had them all along. They had a deal with Belisarius Call, and
he is a heretic then.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. So we have one vote for Luna Wolves. That's it so far. So
you could paint him as a raptor, like the raptor chapter. The guy painted some like that, although you could actually paint them well.
Mantis Warriors.
Mantis Warriors. That would be kind of cool.
Well, honestly, a lot of the Badab War different chapters are cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should paint him, but it's been I feel like it's been ages since I painted a Space Marine.
Man, the Mantis Warrior Tranquility Campaign Sniper Unit Marine. Cool.
On
Lexiconum, they have pictures of stuff from the Mantis Warriors. There's even a Primaris picture.
Everybody's getting their hand in that cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
the Primaris cookie jar.
They're even in the inner circle now. So
that's
the Dark
so cool.
Angels.
It was bound to happen.
I feel the Dark Angels getting Primaris. It seems like that would have been an low hanging fruit to be like, oh, we don't trust them, yada yada, and kind of build a narrative around that. But I feel monetary sense got in the way of that quickly, and it's just like we can't discourage buying Primaris models for Dark Angels players.
Johnny says something quick. So we have instant gratification. Go for fun. No, that's probably true. It should probably be something
honestly
easy.
Something why I like suggesting something like the Raptors, because like you can use those cool kind of
military
drab
greens.
Military colors, which I feel you've done a lot and are cool, and they fit with things. Oh, and then you could paint that Stumpy Marine there.
Should paint him.
Does that? So I guess he doesn't even have. Well,
Does I have shoulder pads and stuff.
Not right now.
Not Black Templar. Eli, not Black Templar. Not more Black Templar.
No one likes them. But so we actually have like two of these guys here. So I could actually paint him as well, and then I'd have lots of reference models. Unfortunately, we still haven't received that premium Bandai Intercessor action figure thing. Because if we had him, he'd be posing for you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I find that a little odd that GW started to ship out those models when they clearly don't have them all to ship to people.
Well, is GW the one shipping them, or is like Bandai or something doing it?
I suppose that could be the case.
I
don't know, but I guess it's just, because I thought, oh, maybe like Europe's getting it or something, and not, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So hopefully you actually get it. Admittedly,
I went and looked on my order on my GW account, and it's there. Like, I ordered it. They took my money.
Eli suggests it's probably Bandai. It probably is. It sounds very much like, well, I watched a few reviews, like YouTube sort of reviews, and it sounds very much like it's just a Gundam model that someone assembled for you and did some kind of shoddy airbrushing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is what it sounds like.
Which is what it is, but it seems kind of weird for a hobby. Games Workshop is so much about the hobby aspect, and the building and painting and those things are as much a appeal and part of the hobby as playing the game and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that wasn't leveraged with Bandai, when a lot of Bandai's, I guess a lot of Bandai stuff are just toys and things like this, but they still do lots of Gunpla and things of that nature. And this model clearly has a lot of the same sort of joints and polycap sort of stuff, that I kind of feel it's sort of odd that they didn't just release it as a kit you could assemble. You know, such as you could paint it, and
Yeah.
but I don't know. I guess in some sense maybe it's good, such that when we get it, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But supposedly you can see all like the nipper marks and stuff, and some bad seam lines on things.
Charting Squid, he suggests that the McFarlane version is coming out soon. Huh. I remember,
That has to look like garbage.
like this one, like the Bandai one.
I mean, I don't know if anyone saw like McFarlane made a Doom Slayer model for Doom Eternal. At least
bad.
it looked like shit. Like what happened, McFarlane Toys, is what I want to say based on the pictures. Like they used to be like, wow, we're making a quality product. It's not that anymore.
You know, I
Yeah.
might actually, if I do paint this Marine as like a model, I might even paint him in different pieces. Like I very rarely do multiple like assemblies and stuff, but I think this model, it will fit together nice enough where there aren't actually like horrible looking seams and stuff, and there's not a whole lot of play in how you glue it together.
Yeah. No, you
So-
should do that because, God, for these sisters, I foolishly glued them together, and you
Because
just can't get behind those bolters and such.
because there's a lot of space behind this bolt rifle.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, and I fortunately didn't actually glue them together for some reason. That's cool.
Hot Dice Miniatures, nice to have you here. He suggests the White Tiger chapter. I don't know if I know that chapter.
I'll be honest, I don't think I do.
I mean, probably one. Like, is it like one of the old Rogue Trader ones? I don't remember.
There were tons of them.
Meandering Shade's here now too. Meandering Shade, what chapter should Adam paint this Primaris Marine as? That's the question.
Because we think I've been using him as a reference model for so long, he should probably be painted. But first I'll probably paint this Eldar model. Or Dark Eldar model.
Johnny had made the suggestion that whatever colors he paints the Marine, it should be something that's easy and fun such that it can be accomplished quickly. And that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I think that's a very good
Lots
idea.
of oils. Well, the McFarlane one, you can probably, maybe you could actually buy it on a larger scale, because the stupid Bandai one, you could like pre-order it, and the pre-order probably ended in like less than a day. What we should really do is try and sell it on eBay, but we're not. Eli, you bastard. He's not gonna be an Imperial Fist. Though, I guess if I did paint him as an Imperial Fist, I could probably largely just airbrush it yellow, and then just use oils and enamels and stuff to dirty the hell out of it, and use some like white oils and stuff to like buff different areas, and it might not actually be that bad.
No, that's what they're for. I just sent a picture that Hot Dice Minis kind of sent me something, and I
Oh wow! Okay,
then a screen capture the
wait,
White Tigers.
Wait, are they? So they're like almost like a metallic green, jade-ish color. They're kind of neat. Oh wait, and then there's a different. Huh. Pictures like this really remind you how big their bolt pistols are.
Can you bring that up?
I thought.
I think.
Wait.
I think you might still be
I
on
need to
the.
bring up the. There it is. So this like metallic green.
How's that a White Tiger? Is there's
The tiger on his shoulder pad's white.
The Thundercats logo on his
Oh
shoulder.
wow, it really does look like the Thundercats logo.
Thunder, oh.
Eli, are you talking about Bad Moon's yellow? Is that the yellow airbrush paint you're talking about? Because I've been using it. I've used.
Eli also suggested the Iron Snakes. That's cool.
Oh,
they're cool.
They'd
Oh my
actually
God.
they're like a metallic color, right?
I think they're largely silver with kind of blue on some of their shoulder pads and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That would be cool because Dan Abnett stuff is cool. Any paint can be airbrush ready.
Oh yeah,
Eli.
you could do it. Well, the airbrush should probably be the easiest way to get Bad Moon Yellow to apply to something because oh boy, it's
yeah,
hard.
it's true. That's true.
I actually kind of like the idea of Iron Snakes.
Well, I mean, they're like primarily silver. That would be easy as shit. I mean, all you have to do is use non-oil, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking do that. But I could use some of these little like Tamiya like weathering master stuff. Like they make some metallic ones that could be good. Yeah, the Mantis Warriors were Greg I think mentioned them. They would be kind of cool. Well, I'll have to think more about it, and we'll see. Maybe sometime next week we'll have a better sense of what to do. And Slambo will be finished.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. I got in the mail. I got this. I don't know if people can see this fanzine for like OSR role playing stuff with a bunch of stuff in it for like Merkborg and whatnot. It's called Night East. It's the first issue of it. That is kind of neat.
Hold it up
maybe it's
higher.
cool.
Yeah. Wow, that person's head or whatever is exploding.
Yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, I don't know. I can't tell. But yeah, it seems nice. It's like a little book, and the printing and such, and kind of the art design inside of it is very sort of akin to the Merkborg design. So if you're familiar with that, you would recognize it. They're all like very different sort of stuff in it. But it seems like it's like a nice little reference and interesting things and some interesting scenarios and things that could be run for like RPG sessions and whatnot. I mean, so I'd say people to go look into it, but it seems that they're trying to be really exclusive with it, and like they're not. I don't think they're reprinting it. They're not releasing it as a PDF. So I don't know. I feel that's sort of dumb. But
well, are they actually going to release multiple issues of it? Like,
I don't know. Maybe not. It's a cute, like, vicious-looking raptor on this.
look at him.
Yeah, but so I don't know. It's neat, and I guess it goes. Merkborg is cool. RPGs are cool, and the different like source books and settings are a neat way to find kind of inspiration and ideas of stuff for models or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Merkborg, their Kickstarter, or like kind of an additional volume of material that was successful. So I guess that'll probably be out relatively soon, and that's not limited edition or whatnot. So
That's good.
Oh, Mandarin Shade, his copy of Morkborg finally arrived. That's cool. Yeah, like about as soon as it was released, it started getting some acclaim, and it maybe a day after it was released, every copy was sold out. And then there was a second printing, but then COVID-19 happened, and
That didn't help anything.
so
No.
I just got the PDFs for an RPG module called A Wizard, which is about I guess a little town that's terrorized by a wizard. That they make it sound like everyone refers to it as a wizard with a pointed hat, but it sounds like it's not actually a wizard.
And it's instead something perhaps more nefarious. Is that sort of the?
Yeah. Um,
Where did you hear about this?
I think it was kickstarted, right?
it was kickstarted maybe 2 months ago, a month ago.
Okay.
A wizard mad with power has terrorized the charming hamlet of Canny before escaping to his tower on the hill. The heroes must find him and stop him before his curses descend upon every hapless citizen. And the first thing after that, the first thing that it says is the wizard is just that. He wears a pointed hat. Never refer to him as anything else through description, NPC dialogue, etc. The characters find themselves unable to. He is true. And so you have to go and find him in his tower, and I will read you a description of the tower. The wizard's tower lies on top of a grassy hill surrounded by flowers. It's enormous, stretching high up into the sky. It has an odd shape, bending back and forth, and dotted with bulbous growths as large as a house. As the characters get closer, they can see the tower is composed of a sticky, fibrous material, pale blue and sweet smelling.
Whoa. Sounds
That's
pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. But it's cool.
I read
RPGs are cool.
about half of it. It sounds creepy and great.
That's what you want.
You just sent me something from the Warhammer community side. The
Oh,
Adeptus
yeah.
Mechanicus swoop into battle.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we wanted to talk about, there's not a huge amount of GW revealed stuff.
The first picture has some guy with a flamethrower thing that's banned.
It is banned. That's weird.
Yeah, but so these flying Adeptus Mechanicus stuff. I guess there was also one with the horseback dudes. But I thought if we wanted to, we could talk a little bit since there are more pictures of these. I don't know.
Do they have more of the horseback ones or no?
I'll see if I can find the.
I feel the ones with the flying ones will. Oh my god! Look, wait. Are you kidding? Like, look at this one. I just brought up his arm. To me, it really looks like his arm is physically bent. Like they bent the plastic. Is anyone seeing this? That
It does look like that. I think they bent that.
They bent his arm. Why would they show that? I guess they probably didn't notice it.
It's funny.
Why would they show that?
That's the attention to detail. That
Look at the detail.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's rough.
Shame that happened to that model.
I do like their legs have a lot of like little belts and clasps and stuff. Like that looks kind of good. Like you could probably use that for.
I feel they'll make sort of a nice
stuff
thing for creepy Inc. 28 constructs and whatnot.
Well, I can't believe that they like ruined that.
By itself, I don't know if it's something I love.
Let's
Oh,
look.
there's the picture of the entire squad. You can see him, and yeah, it
Oh, yeah,
looks
he's
like
in the
it's
center.
just
Like, they
bent.
just bent that. And then, yeah, the flamer's bent. This one is bent. Whoa. People will actually probably use these to make, like, Chaos Raptors and
Well,
stuff.
there's lower on in the post. There's a squad with, I don't
The
know,
little
other
rifle
face
things.
types, more like the dome head ones, and the one in the middle I think has that same arm, but it is not bent.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they just bent it and didn't care.
Yeah, there was no time to fix that.
No, never.
They didn't want to repaint that, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I
I
don't know, they're
mean,
interesting models. They're kind of cool.
Eli says that his hardback of Morkborg is somewhere, probably customs alongside with my Night East zine and a gaming mat and probably a few other things I've forgotten already. Yeah, I understand. I get that, not remembering what you might have ordered. I backed after I bought Morkborg and was all excited about it. I backed probably like 6 or 7 like Kickstarters for little like zine module adventure things. One of which was a wizard, and like boy did I back a lot, an outrageous number. And so, and I don't remember them. I don't remember what they were. I could go on to Kickstarter, I guess, and look.
well, so I've just Eric sent another link showing like the riding dudes. They're interesting. Um, I really hate like I don't remember the names of any of their weapons, but like the leader guy has this like Nerf blaster pistol. Like it really looks like a Nerf gun,
Nerf gun.
but a Nerf gun wouldn't be that big, I guess. So the Nerf gun has a one up on that. Like whatever that
Yeah,
is,
that's
it's
true.
awful. I will say, like their little rifles or whatever. Like I wish the normal like Skitarii warriors and stuff. I wish their rifles looked more like that. Like they're, I think, a little smaller.
I mean, I assume
Um,
they're supposed to be carbines or something, but admittedly, those look like the size of like a kind of a traditional full size rifle or like a
yeah,
Grand or something like that.
yeah. So like, I feel like almost the neatest thing about these is the option where like you could get a bunch of these and you wouldn't have to spend as much time cutting down the barrels and stuff of their rifles.
I think Darren Latham.
The season 3 of Westworld.
I think Darren Latham was on the 40 whatever their podcast is called in
Mhm.
talking a little bit about these. It may have been an episode that him and Jess Goodwin were on together. They were kind of talking about this, how they wanted to make kind of like the lever actions, because it seems like those rifles are lever action, or they have the lever there, but then there's still the cylinders. I don't know, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but
Well, so this picture
regardless,
here makes it look smaller, but then like there's the one who's like holding it up in like one hand, and that looks huge. So like
looks
maybe
gigantic.
so maybe they are not actually any smaller,
Yeah,
which
but
is
he
kind of a
mentioned that
shame.
they wanted this as an opportunity to make kind of like a Civil War cavalry dueling pistol type thing. I mean, I guess they made
That's no
it, but
single action army.
God, it's so large.
Dave's here. Hi, Dave.
It's too large to be interesting or good.
Oh, hey Dave. Yeah, I don't. God, that's bad.
I mean, I like the idea of it.
The horses with on the Westworld lever gun dudes are a lot neater looking than the other ones.
like the skull one, like the more like horse skull.
That don't have flamethrower heads.
Is that
Yeah,
really what that is?
they
Ooh,
are.
that's
You
rough.
can see it in the illustration of it.
Ooh, oof.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Whoa.
And the the
Um,
the canister that contains the Promethium
It's
is
right
like
in the
right
front.
under.
Love it.
Makes sense.
Oh
It's
shit.
good.
Oh, so that's interesting. Look, so yeah, if you look at like one has like a little volley gun, and he has like a little a holstered pistol up on front. Yeah, like look how big that is. Like, and what's interesting, like they actually made the holster large enough to fit the pistol, and yeah, man, that's huge. Like that literally is the size of like a carbine, like
Yeah, gigantic.
a smaller rifle. Huh. I do like they have like kind of like the little cloaks and hoods and stuff. Like I feel like a lot of people will largely just be taking these and combining them with normal Skitarii models to get kind of slightly different looking Skitarii, like Rangers and Warriors.
That'll be good for making what do you call it, Rough Riders and stuff like that.
Yeah. This one also has like a holster for what looks like one of the rifles, and there you can kind of see the lever action part more clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, like the holster for the weapon, it also has an additional part here. Is that for like the scope or something, or what is that? Or is that a holster for his saber? Maybe that's for the saber.
That's for the scope. Or his saber. I don't know.
If it is for the saber, it probably wouldn't really fit very well. I don't know. Yeah, they're interesting.
Adam, show the meme that Eric posted.
It was something that I thought came to mind with Eli mentioning all the stuff that he's buying.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
bought the player's manual for the 5th edition of D&D that's sitting here. And who am I kidding? I'm not.
Why, Greg?
Because a friend for Lancaster Labs, was playing it and asked if I wanted to ever play with him, and I was like, of course I do. I don't know the rules. Not that it matters that much, but I think he cares about the rules, so I should probably know them.
Oh, yeah, I mean, wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't be bad. So yeah, I don't know, I think all of that, the newer Skitarii stuff, people will find a lot of useful stuff on them. Just be careful not to bend the arms. They're prone to bending. Yeah, the flying ones, their mechanical backpacks are pretty interesting looking. But yeah, man, so bad. Well, so it's also interesting, yeah, like the flying ones that have like some of them have the rifles, and it literally just looks like they took the different aspects of like all of their different rifles and just spliced them together. And I don't know what I think about it. There are parts of it that I actually think look pretty nice, but the like little rotating cylinder thing or whatever that is on the front of all the rifles, I don't think that really works that well.
Dude looks like he's like somebody coming out of a Call of Duty Modern Warfare game that got mixed in with some steampunk bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Call of Duty mixed with BioShock Infinite.
Oh, here's a better view of the part of the rifle. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know. They're interesting. I feel like their heads are pretty good. Like I imagine they'll fit right in with most of the other Skitarii models, and they were hopefully designed to do that.
I'm back. I assume you talked a little bit about those rifles.
I
They're the
did.
flechette rifles or whatever. Isn't that weird how they took the flechette pistol
Hmm.
that was supposed to be a pistol and essentially just lengthened the barrel on it? Now it looks like an oversized rifle or carbine,
Yeah, it does.
when it's just the pistol or essentially just, I mean, I guess it's a little different, maybe a little bit bigger, but
There's
I
this. They
guess it
had it
just
a stock, which is cool.
it just speaks to the odd size is yeah, odd sizes.
Yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting. People will do cool stuff with them. It is nice for some of these. They drilled the barrels of some of the weapons, and they decided not to have the barrel be like as broad as the entire weapon. So like the rounds and stuff in the magazine of the gun could actually fit in there. So like they were thinking.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. We've talked enough about them, I think. Wait, Eli says we got a privacy fence during all of this, so I will sit in my Pope hat and play on my new gaming mat. With all of my fancy new toys, yeah.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Tristan says I'm stoked for all these. I'm stoked on these from my Cities of Sigmar army.
I think that's what the sort of the Empire army, or that combines a bunch of the free people.
Mm-hmm. Did they?
I mean, they recently released an army book for it, but I don't think they released really any new models. But I think a lot of people do some sort of steampunk sort of stuff. Like maybe Vince Ventrella, maybe that's not how you pronounce his name. I think one of his armies was recently featured on the Warhammer community page that used a bunch of the Caradon Overlord dwarf stuff to make kind of airships and other steampunk sort of empire sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
That I suspect that was also a Cities of Sigmar army.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess with all the kind of the cloth wings and things of that nature, they do have that sort of Wright Brothers steampunk sort of look to them, that it would be pretty easy to do a little modification and pass it off as an odd fantasy sort of creation, particularly for Age of Sigmar, which kind of has you have a wide berth for creating things.
I agree, yeah.
But I guess honestly, I'm pretty excited to hear about any effort to kit bash or convert models across ranges or into different ranges. I think it's a good effort.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So I don't know, is there anything else we need and or want to talk about?
I guess it's worth
show the shit that you have to like the thing to hold all your nippers and stuff. Can you show that?
I can show a picture.
Well, that's good enough, I guess.
Let me find it.
I guess also, I mean, they're doing another online preview this Saturday. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I actually forgot about that. I think they are.
Where they reveal the new edition of 40K.
Is that what people think?
Maybe. I mean, people already thought it was coming, then it didn't, and so maybe that's what it is.
Oh yeah, I recently got like a little stand to hold all the different nippers and stuff that I
Who
had.
makes that stand?
What about repeat that, Greg?
Who makes that stand?
Oh, this God Hand actually makes
Oh,
it. So the
okay.
people who make like the expensive nippers, and the only reason I got it was because um you could easily kind of make something like this, but it has like a little grooved thing underneath it where you can put like your hobby knives and other stuff like that so they don't roll away.
That's the best part.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was probably spent more than I should have for it, but I don't know. It seems pretty nice. And they all my tools and stuff won't just be like cluttered around in random spots.
And you take note of that golden demon statue carefully hidden back there.
Yeah, I should have hit that better.
Sneak it in every picture.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I also got a little holder to hold like my airbrush and stuff, so it's not just laying in a pile of other tools and equipment.
You're making your studio.
I guess,
right.
yeah.
You're building your streaming studio, and you're building your hobby studio. Building it all the things.
No, but having organizers and stuff like
I'm
that.
building Mewtwo.
Yeah. There he is. You need to convert him into a demon prince, Greg. You really do.
But having stuff to like help organize your stuff is nice. Like now it's easier to actually have, all your different things and
I have nothing organized.
not to have to, search through a drawer or whatnot.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how most of my stuff is.
Nah, and I feel like I constantly keep getting more and more like tools and supplies and stuff, and it can be hard to manage it all appropriately. And
Yeah.
it's been a long time since my hobby knife rolled off the table and into my foot.
Yeah, I remember when that happened to you. It's never actually stuck into my foot. But
Yeah, so it only happened one time. I don't even remember exactly how it happened, but it like rolled off the table and like fell and literally landed sticking into my foot like vertically. It was horrible. I pulled it out quickly, but oh god, there was blood everywhere, and it was horrible. It was horrible. Oh, actually, so Johnny's asking the name of the smaller razor saw we got. I can actually show it.
And the post with the harvest lighter on my blog has the name of it. Well, let me just find it.
It's the company that makes it is JLC, and I think they call it a razor saw. And
yeah, they do.
And you use like a Phillips screwdriver to add and remove the little blades.
I think I just put the name in the Twitch chat thing.
Yeah.
But they're nice.
Yeah, no, they're very nice.
The Tamiya one's nice too. I think honestly having both is useful. Like, I think the JLC one is sort of more stable and sturdy and is really nice for fine precision stuff. The Tamiya one, since it doesn't have that thick bar in the center, you can cut like larger things.
I have one of the Tamiya ones somewhere too. Let's see if I can find.
Because for the one with the wooden handle, the JLC one, you can only really cut until you reach that the metal brace in the center. So like that can be limiting at times.
Okay, here's the other the smaller saw that I have.
Yeah, so that's nice too, because you can cut larger things and whatnot.
Yeah. And I guess one other thing which I think I've talked about this a few times before, but if you're into like making your own bases and stuff with plastic art, getting like a little compass cutter helps a lot with cutting out circular pieces of plastic art, just like put on top of a base or anything like that. Much easier than trying to cut one, like trace something and cut it out with the scissors or.
Those look like a serious piece of work.
Well, no, I first got this larger one, thinking that it would be good, but it doesn't. Like, you screw this little piece off, and like there's the point that you spin it around, and well, as you could sort of guess, like it's too big for a lot of your standard smaller bases. So I then had to get this other smaller one.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Yes, that.
Oh wait, actually that's interesting. So this little blade that's on this Tamiya craft saws is made by Olfa, which that's the same company that makes these. Huh. Didn't realize that. So yeah, all of those tools can be useful, but this like little razor saw is perfect for getting really fine, thin cuts. And certainly like for like this little bolt gun conversion that I did a while ago. Let's see if there's too much stuff here for it to focus right.
Yeah, I feel doing conversions like that with one of those saws now would help.
Oh yeah, so like for this, like I physically like cut off part of the top of the weapon, and then I cut off the top of one of the weapons that had this like little Picatinny rail, and then just put them together. And if I had had like this little razor saw at the time, it would have been much easier.
Yeah.
To like actually get a straight cut. A straight cut and fine cut, so I wouldn't have had to do as much fiddling with X-Acto blades and other stuff like that.
Yeah, now that's what or at least had been accustomed to, and it's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
Kind of terrible.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
We think they are going to announce the next edition of 40K.
They could.
Like, I don't know what else they would do other than like, we have a bunch of additional Psychic Awakening books that will preview more, which, you know, maybe isn't super interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, they certainly could. I mean, they've been, I feel, doing that for a long time now.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I guess I'm not sure. I guess would I be excited about a new edition? I mean, maybe not. I guess it's just any new editions is just an excuse for more models and whatnot. So I guess that in itself is exciting. But I guess they'll have this whole difficulty of how much are they going to modify all the codex books and whatnot. I mean, I severely doubt even if they do a new edition, I severely doubt it would be a very major thing. would just be a way of tweaking things and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like this transition from 7th to 8th or anything of that nature. Or at least I don't think it would be.
Probably not.
But
Dave
having
says,
played so little, I don't know how they would even adjust stuff, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. Dave says Alpha makes great cutting blades, better than X-Acto. Like, I don't think I've ever used any of their, like, cutting blades, but they make X-Acto type knives and stuff like that, which I had been considering trying to buy one and play around with it and see how I liked it. But I imagine it's relatively, probably pretty similar to what I already use.
I haven't spent too much time with anything other than just like X-Acto blades.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I don't know, maybe we've talked about all the stuff we want to talk about tonight. Like, I know
Yeah, I should go to bed.
I have to get up pretty early tomorrow to go into work to start imaging some samples for research related to the coronavirus.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dave also says Alpha, they make other blades and stuff Alpha does, similar to like the number 11 blade that X-Acto makes. Johnny says he's just sitting down to paint. What are you working on painting, Johnny? I will hopefully finish the model I'm working on within the next day or two. And then either move on to the little Eldar model or maybe that Space Marine test model. Oh, you're okay, so you're finishing your Inquisitor. That's cool. He's looking really good. All the extra effort and attention to different details and stuff's really helping a lot.
No, yeah, that is very true.
All right, friends, I'm going to bed. Nice talking to everybody. Keep it real. Keep doing hobby stuff and keep healthy. Keep living your best lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Nice having you here, Greg. Yeah. Now you can get a lot of mileage with different pigments. I think I overthink things. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we'll end the stream here too. Like I have stuff I need to get to doing. But I guess one other thing that I will say, I think hopefully sometime relatively soon, I'm thinking about doing another hobby stream where I actually try and convert a model. I think I might start out with like a stormtrooper of sorts and kind of try and convert a different rifle and stuff for them. So hopefully people will be interested in watching something like that. Hopefully, yeah, within the next few days or so, I'll try and start doing that.
Yeah, no, I feel experimenting with converting streams could be fun.
Yeah. And it might also force me to expand and try and do some quicker conversions and just not necessarily care as much about every small detail and stuff and just try and do something.
No, yeah, that's true. And I think just getting stuff together and like painting the stuff, I think if it's all finished, it looks good, even if it's maybe not 100% perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, so when I figure out a time to do said stream, maybe we'll have maybe we'll have something up on Instagram to kind of warn people or suggest when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everyone for coming out and listening to us ramble on about stuff. Enjoy the hobby, all of you. Try and keep safe in these kind of questionable, interesting times. And we will hopefully talk to all of you again pretty soon.
Yep. See you, everybody.
Yep, over and out.